Hello guys, welcome to the start of Season 3 here on the channel. I hope you enjoyed that intro. It got you going a little bit because this is going to be a very, very exciting season. You can see the new Aston Martin Vantage livery that we're sporting this season. Lots of new teams, lots of new liveries, driver transfers. It's going to be a cracking season. And of course, we kick it off in Bahrain. Now, if you didn't go watch the pre-season episode on Thursday, go back and watch that. I'll explain everything to this point and where we are set up for this new season. But of course, we start at Bahrain. And of course, in the desert, 2004, the first Grand Prix, 57 laps round here. Pedro de la Rosa, 2005, holds the lap record. Car attributes: acceleration, low speed cornering. We're pretty good at low speed cornering now. Expected strategy is a two-stop. Tyre wear can be a factor around here. The soft, medium, soft strategy is the optimal. Last year, Max Verstappen set off his Season 2 campaign with a win here in Bahrain. And it was the top two here that went out to battle it all the way down to Abu Dhabi at the end of last season. So hopefully a good start can put us in good stead. I'll get through practice and we'll theory in qualifying for the first race of the 2024 F1 season. But just before we get into the race weekend, you are going to want to know about all the driver transfers, and there's been some big ones happened in the off-season. So Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, no changes at Ferrari or Red Bull. Obviously both pretty happy with their drivers from last year. Mercedes is the big one. Mercedes have got Valtteri Bottas and George Russell. You'll notice there's no Lewis Hamilton there. We'll come to that very shortly. Aston Martin, we retain both our drivers, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly. Felipe Drugovich is our reserve. Alpine, Sebastian Vettel and Esteban Ocon are the Alpine drivers. Audi are now in Formula 1, and Audi have made a huge statement by signing Lewis Hamilton to drive in their new car. He's going to be partnered by Alexander Albon and Robert Kubica as the reserve driver. McLaren have got Danny Ricciardo and Lando Norris. That's no changes from last year, so decent for them. AlphaTauri, Lance Stroll there again with Guan Yu Zhou, so quite an exciting young pairing there. Fiat Porsche, not too much between those three drivers in terms of rating. The new American Haas, which you'll see all these liveries in the Grand Prix. I can't show you them on this episode, but you'll see all the new liveries in the next episode. Haas, they've got Nicholas Latifi and Kevin Magnussen. And Williams Racing, the new Coinbase Williams Racing, retain Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda. So that's your team roster update. Interesting driver transfers, but that Lewis Hamilton one at Audi is the big one.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula 1. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
So you join us for the final laps in Q2 now. We've absolutely breezed Q1. It must be said, we absolutely breezed it. And as you can see at the moment, Pierre Gasly is breezing Q2. I weren't even going to send him out again. We'll send him out on the U sets at top because I think we're going to quite easily get through. But let's just have a little quick look at some of these liveries. The Ferrari is looking resplendent in this gorgeous, like, chrome red Ferrari. Amazing. Obviously, we're looking very nice in the Aston Martin. Perez, there's no difference in the Red Bull, so we'll move on. Bottas in the black Mercedes has done very well so far. Obviously got his rewards for outperforming the Alfa Romeo. He's back in the Mercedes and looking mightily quick. Lewis Hamilton in the Audi, doing a good job as you would expect. Audi's big summer signing. He's been very good so far this session, now in P7. George Russell obviously in the same. AlphaTauri, no difference in them. Magnussen in the USA Haas, it's not going to prove a different in fortunes at this moment in time. P11 for Magnussen, though, is not too bad. Esteban Ocon in the new looking Alpine as well, looking very nice. but we are safely through it by the looks of things to Q2. We'll just to Q3, sorry. We'll just speed this up. And Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly are both through, and they've got 2 fresh sets of soft compound tyres for Q3. There we go, then final laps in Q3. Checkered flag, as you can see, is out. And will Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly improve? I hope so. They're now both on fresh sets of soft compound tyres. Pierre Gasly P6 on a scrub set of soft tyres. I mean, that's showing the pace of this car. Fernando Alonso is going to cross the line. He's up to P4. Pierre Gasly's green through sector 1. He's green through sector 2. Pierre Gasly only P6. That is some lap from Fernando Alonso. The man we've got to watch now is Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Let's just fast forward this a little bit to see if anybody improves. They don't. Max Verstappen is on pole and gets the first point of the season. Valtteri Bottas second. Valtteri Bottas, I've got to say, I were in awe of him last year. I'm in awe of him a little bit this year. Charles Leclerc P3. Fernando Alonso only 2 tenths off pole position. Sergio Perez 5th. Pierre Gasly 6th. Lewis Hamilton in the Audi gets a top 10 start. So that's a decent performance for his first run in the Audi. Let's get to the strategies. Right, guys, strategies is the standard 2-stop strategy. What we are going to be interested in, Pierre Gasly is going to start on some used soft compounded tyres. He's going to have the fresh ones at the end. And it's going to be the opposite with Fernando. He's going to have the start on the fresh soft compound tyre and go on to the used ones at the end. So that's the only little difference. And it just gives a couple of laps to get Pierre in and then Fernando. But apart from that, P4, P6, let's get to 5 red lights. And what a start to the season this could be.
And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and my God, do these Aston Martin Vantage colours look very, very nice indeed. But Max Verstappen leads us away. Charles Leclerc straight away is behind him and has made up a position on Valtteri Bottas. Fernando Alonso looking at the back of the Mercedes, and straight away Fernando Alonso very much in the thick of it. Fernando Alonso is only the one in the top 10 that is on fresh, soft, compound tyres. He can make these work for him. Pierre Gasly having a bit of a battle with Sergio Perez, and he's got Carlos Sainz for company, and Carlos Sainz has managed to get around the outside of Pierre. We'll switch back to TV camera, and Carlos Sainz has made up the position on Pierre, but Pierre battling back. It's an audacious move down the inside of Carlos Sainz. They side by side, but Sainz just gets back in front as we go onto the second of the long straights here in Bahrain. But as we lead away, Max Verstappen leads from Charles Leclerc, then comes Valtteri Bottas. Fernando Alonso looking punchy in P4, Sergio Perez 5, Sainz 6, Gasly 7, Russell 8, Hamilton in the Audi 9th. I'm very impressed with this Audi looking car. We've got this to look forward to in real life, but that is a good looking car, the Audi. Lando Norris in the Marlboro McLaren in P10. You join us back on lap 3. It's been pretty much in formation at this moment in time, but Pierre Gasly's got the DRS. Carlos Sainz hasn't, and he's also using the ERS. I'm waiting for Pierre Gasly to decide to make a move, and it doesn't look as though he's going to do it, and that could be massive for Pierre Gasly's race. We cut back because we thought Pierre might fancy an overtake. Apparently not. Let's see if he does it down this next DRS straight. He's got the DRS, Carlos Sainz hasn't, and Pierre Gasly, for one reason or another, maybe just can't get used to this car, or he's not settled into it as well as Fernando Alonso has. And it must be said, Fernando Alonso is having a lovely time up front. He's got 14% better tyre wear than the front runners. He's looking in a very, very strong position. We're going to go a little bit longer with Fernando Alonso than the other couple of cars in front of him. Latch onto the DRS, and then his medium should be in better condition, and crucially the soft compound towards the end. But lap 4, we're still waiting. We'll follow the action. Pierre Gasly, are you going to try and move on this DRS straight? Carlos Sainz has got the DRS back, so that's going to drag Carlos Sainz back into it. But Pierre Gasly, at this moment in time, can't get the move done on Carlos Sainz. Lap 5, Fernando Alonso has got all the pace in the world. DRS straight, he got the DRS a little bit, but made light work of the Mercedes. That is a sentence I'm hoping I'm going to get used to saying. Great work from Fernando Alonso. He's up into P3. Are we going to get a shot at the Aston Martin garage? We're not. I'm disappointed at that. Pierre Gasly's still fighting with Carlos Sainz, but Fernando Alonso, he could win this. Lap 5. A new season, and Danny Ricciardo It's not a new Danny Ricciardo in the Marlboro McLaren. He had a terrible qualifying on Saturday. He was knocked out in Q1 while Lando Norris managed to get into Q2. And yeah, a bit of a throwback there with the overalls and the polo shirts. But yeah, no difference for Danny Ricciardo's side of the garage. He's going to be very disappointed. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso is doing his stuff. He's keeping up with the two leaders. And he's on much better tyres as well. He can probably get past these, but I'm more interested in keeping the DRS. I don't want to battle too hard. We may as well use these tyres and go from there. But lap 7, Fernando Alonso very much in the fight. Lando Norris down in P10, making up to P10. Fernando and Lewis Hamilton, sorry, in front of him. So the two Brits battling it out for P9 and 10 in the Audi and the McLaren. These new liveries, they've just spiced it up a little bit. They've just made the grid a little bit more different, and it's exciting having these new entrants on the grid as well, especially the Audi. And that Lewis Hamilton signing is just something else. That really, really did put the cat amongst the pigeons, especially for Valtteri Bottas. But as you can see at the front, Pierre Gasly's not out of this yet either. He's on 62% tyres. He's managing them better. I think our tyre wear is not as bad as some of the competitors this year as well, which is nice to see. But Pierre Gasly got a little bit of work to do to keep up with Carlos Sainz, but doing okay at the moment, lap 7. Of all of the praise I've been giving him, Fernando Alonso's locked up, and that train being so close behind him has meant that he's lost about 8, 9, 10 places. They gutted in the Aston Martin garage, they gutted on the Aston Martin pit wall. Fernando Alonso's now down in P8, if I decide to get the right camera on. Fernando Alonso down in P8, and he's also, his tyres are still okay, but that's a big, big blow for Fernando's race. Pierre Gasly now looks like the man who's mainly in contention for a podium, and we're just having a look at Fernando Alonso. He ran wide again. Whether something's gone wrong with Fernando's car or he's having issues or something, Fernando now really in a difficult position in P8. He can run a little bit longer, may go for the overcut, but Pierre Gasly P6 now is our best chance. We'll just have a quick rundown. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, and we were battling for the lead, are now in front. We've got Bottas in P3, Sainz P5, Gasly P6, Russell 7, Alonso 8, Magnussen 9, and Lewis Hamilton in the Audi in P10. He's showing his bike lap 16. Pierre Gasly, he's boxing this lap. His tyres are cooked. I don't want to leave him out there any longer. We're going to get him onto the mediums. We may go soft, medium with Pierre to give us that freshness, because the tyre wear area is pretty bad. As you can see, these two are still fighting for the lead. Fernando Alonso has been told, use your battery and get yourself back in the race, because at this moment, after that mistake, he's managed to drop it down by a second. But we just want Fernando in. We've got the two leaders are in, as is Pierre Gasly. So Verstappen and Leclerc are in. Gasly's in as well. We wanted to try and get an undercut. That was the plan. Let's see if we can do it. Pierre Gasly, is he going to get a decent stop? Max Verstappen's Red Bull stop looked particularly quick, it must be said. He is in. 4 mediums. Is he going to get held in the pit lane? He isn't. 2.69. It's not great, but not the worst. Pierre Gasly comes out P9. What's the distance? He's very much at the back of Charles Leclerc. I'm wondering if Charles Leclerc did get held. We've got Pierre Gasly's at George Russell. George Russell's just come out in front, so George Russell's got the undercut on Gasly, but Gasly is out now with Russell and Leclerc, and he's got DRS and fresh medium tyres. Fernando Alonso not going to be pitting just yet. He's still got these tyres to use a little bit, and Fernando, he's not making any inroads onto P3, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But we've got another couple of laps for Fernando. Yeah, he will be on fresher tyres. This may come to Fernando later on in the race. You join us back as we see Carlos Sainz in the pits, and Carlos Sainz getting held badly in the pits. Carlos Sainz is going to lose a lot of time there. Bottas seemed to do okay. Carlos Sainz certainly did not. Pierre Gasly has flown past both of them, to be fair. Bottas and Sainz have come out behind. Gasly now in P6. Have we got anybody yet to pit at the front? We've got Alonso and Perez yet to pit. So that's going to be net P4 for Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is currently harvesting as well, and well in the fight for this. Fernando Alonso is going to be coming in this lap. He's been told to use his tyres, and Fernando is in this lap. Copy. Perez and Alonso into the pit lane. Let's see where Fernando Alonso comes out here. Perez, decent stop. That Red Bull pit garage has obviously been doing the work over the summer. Our pit crew actually decreased a little bit, which was quite annoying after we just built them up. So we're not as good as we used to be. So we've not got the same sort of pit stop times, but that's something we'll work on. But where's Fernando going to come out? He was due to come out P8. He's come out just behind Carlos Sainz, but he's on fresher tyres and can probably chase after the Spaniard now and hopefully get back in that DRS and let him pull us up towards the front guys. Leclerc and Russell at the front are fighting side by side. And who's that man you can see hovering in the background? It's Pierre Gasly, who currently has just charged all his battery up, and now we're going to start looking after the tyres. Not a bad race at all for Pierre Gasly at this moment in time. Lap 20, we're going to get to see the overtakes of overtakes. Pierre Gasly down the inside of Charles Leclerc, gets past him, and then, if it's going to continue, he gets DRS down the next straight, and then manages to get past George Russell. Charles Leclerc drops down. We loved it in the Aston Martin garage, we loved it in the pit wall, because Pierre Gasly on light tyre mode is now into P2 and he's only 4 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso hasn't got the pace to keep up with Carlos Sainz. That's the disappointing thing. Fernando sort of ruined his own race today, but it's still running P8. There is some decent points on the board, but at this moment in time it's looking difficult for anything more than P8. Lap 33, you join us back on now. Fernando Alonso, somehow, I'm not quite sure how, has managed to pull up to the back of this train. So Fernando Alonso back in play. Pierre Gasly, currently P2, on the medium compound tyre. He's fighting very much with Charles Leclerc, but what he has been doing, you'll notice on the bottom right, I've not moved him at a light tyre saving mode. His tyres are far better than Bottas's and Sainz and Perez's, and so is Alonso. I'm starting to think that we might be quite kind on our tyres on this new Aston Martin car for 2024. So it's all looking rather promising. 3rd for Gasly, 8th for Alonso, both of them on decent tyre wear. It could be very, very promising. We can play a game here. We could try the undercut with Alonso. I think that's probably what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and undercut with Alonso and then get Pierre out as well. Both our guys are going to be going on to use soft tyres towards the end. That's the only real option. So the more we can extend this stint, the better. That's really what we want to be doing. But lap 33, all looking rather promising. Max Verstappen running away with it. League of his own. Lap 36, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Pierre Gasly. And we told him to break the DRS of Charles Leclerc. He's managed to do it, but straight away Charles Leclerc got back in. But we've got the fastest lap, but the undercut is very much on with Pierre Gasly. Not for Verstappen, obviously. But we've got the fresher soft compounded tyres for Pierre at the end of this race, so it could be really important for Pierre. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso just tagging onto the back of this lot, saving on his tyres a little bit, and hopefully we might have to try and undercut with Fernando as well. But we are getting to the realms. Lap 42 is when I reckon people are going to start pitting. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But Max Verstappen, 12 seconds to Pierre Gasly. What a race Max Verstappen's having. Box, Pierre Gasly, lap 41 is in for his pit stop. Valtteri Bottas has come out. He's already had his pit stop. He came in last lap. Look at the tyres though. He's on a worn set of soft compounded tyres, as is Carlos Sainz. Pierre Gasly is going to come out onto the soft compounded tyre, but fresh soft compounds. Let's stick with this. Let's see the pit stop in action and then see where Pierre Gasly filters out. He is going to have the better tyres towards the end of this race. There's no doubt in that. Obviously, Charles Leclerc is on the hard compound, so I'm expecting him to go a couple longer. But the undercut has been absolutely massive for Bottas. Bottas have gained, what, 2-3 seconds there on Gasly? So Gasly, a bit of work to do, but on these tyres now, we can really push. We're going to try to push on the fuel, push on the ERS, and hammer time for Pierre. Fernando Alonso is in this lap. Pit lane, Fernando Alonso boxing from I think it was P4, P5 were it? When he came in, the Mercs are out as well, waiting for a pit stop by the looks of it. We've got a lot of cars waiting to pit, and a lot of those cars are the traffic that Pierre Gasly seems to be caught up in. Right, so Pierre Gasly now into P8. He's got Carlos Sainz in front of him. Hamilton's going to cause a bit of trouble here. We need to clear Hamilton particularly quickly. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso comes out in P9 in nice clean air. 4 seconds behind Perez though, so a bit more work for Fernando to do. But Pierre Gasly's the man we're all looking at now.
Here's the replay.
Lap 44, and this was made very, very awkward by Lewis Hamilton, but we did manage to get round him. Pierre did get round. That Ferrari's looking amazing, by the way, that livery. But Pierre Gasly round him, round Carlos Sainz, so he gains 2 positions. He's now up to P5. But the disappointing thing is we enjoyed that in the Aston Martin pit garage, which we can appreciate. We enjoyed that. But, right, Leclerc and Russell are in. Bottas is 3 seconds in front now. This is absolutely key where Charles Leclerc comes out. And what tyres is he on? Charles Leclerc is coming out. Let's have a little look at this. Charles Leclerc, 74% for Bottas. Leclerc coming out of the pits. Gasly, where are you? You're still fighting with Carlos Sainz. We do get past the Ferrari and the Red Bull as well. So Gasly now is fighting with Sainz for a podium. Bottas is in P2. Gasly's on 90%. Gasly's on the freshest tyres of the top 6. So Pierre Gasly, strong position there towards the end of this Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso now just a second behind Charles Leclerc. But Charles Leclerc has got better tyres than Fernando, I would suggest, but only by a little bit. Pierre Gasly now up into P3. It's time to chase down Valtteri Bottas. Pierre, let's get it on. It's happened to both drivers this afternoon. Pierre's ran wide, but fortunately, cut back in front of Sergio Perez. That should be a penalty for dangerous re-entry, but he's 1.7 seconds behind Pierre Gasly, behind Carlos Sainz now. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's knacking his tyres up a little bit with that, but he's still. This will come to Pierre Gasly. This race will come to Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso's in the battle for P6 as well, but Pierre Gasly, it's all on you, my friend. 1.5 seconds to Sainz. It's very much bridgeable. Let's do it. You join us on board with Pierre Gasly as he's attacking Carlos Sainz down the start-finish straight, using the RS, using DRS, and gets past the Spaniard. Lovely stuff. We're only 2 seconds from Bottas. We are only 2 seconds from Bottas. I think we can catch Bottas, but we need to dispatch Carlos Sainz and grow this gap to more than a second and break the DRS. And Pierre Gasly is looking like this is the moment where he's going to do it. Carlos Sainz on 49% tyres, Gasly on 63. This is his chance. Can he do it into this next sector, break the DRS, and if he does, then he can really attack Valtteri Bottas. But he needs to break that DRS before this detection line. Has he done it? It looks like he has. Pierre Gasly can now really latch onto the back. We're going to keep deploying ERS all the way down this straight. Keep Carlos Sainz behind, that's the plan. Fernando will get the chance to attack them then, but then if he can get in the DRS of Valtteri Bottas, it really is game on for Pierre Gasly. And already he's within the DRS of Valtteri Bottas. Fernando Alonso now has got to be looking at this thinking, I could be in for a chance here, and we need to get Fernando moving through this train very quickly. Gasly's dropped Perez and Sainz. P2 beckons for the Gasman. What a double overtake this is, and to be fair, sometimes the stars just align. The Red Bull and Ferrari went to the inside line, and Fernando Alonso thought, you know what, we'll go around the outside, and he's into P5, Fernando Alonso, and now he's on the back of Carlos Sainz. He's got the ERS as well, and the DRS. We're enjoying this. It's been a cracking first race of the season, this it really has. Fernando Alonso now 0.4 of a second behind Carlos Sainz, who hasn't got DRS. He can actually see his teammates squabbling with Valtteri Bottas in front, but at the moment Pierre Gasly's harvesting ERS. That's what we're trying to do with Pierre, and we're going to beat Valtteri Bottas. There's no doubt in that. I think we're going to beat Valtteri Bottas, but Fernando Alonso's got to be thinking, I'm going to beat Carlos Sainz, and Fernando Alonso has got past Carlos Sainz. And I think he's got DRS down this next straight. He has. Carlos Sainz hasn't got it. We've told him to deploy ERS as well. And Fernando Alonso is now up into P4, Gasly P3. This is a great first race for Aston Martin. And this is it, last lap of the race. Fernando Alonso's been told to deploy, do everything you possibly can. Pierre Gasly is still fighting with Valtteri Bottas for P2. We're saving the ERS because we know we've got one more DRS straight in which we've got to defend from Valtteri Bottas. He's got the soft compounder tyres on, same as we have, but they're much more worn. There's no way on earth that Valtteri Bottas should be able to beat us down this next DRS straight. We're going to switch Pierre to defend. And hope. And we'll actually watch it from Valtteri Bottas' point of view. This is it then. It all comes down to this. Pierre Gasly gets a decent exit and has got the ERS on defend. Is he going to have enough to get away from Pierre Gasly? He is, but look at Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has just jumped up to P4. Pierre Gasly looks like he's done enough. We're going to have to watch this as well, the replay here. Fernando Alonso deploying ERS. gets the inside line on the Ferrari, and then off he goes all the way down this straight, makes the position up. We are currently at Aston Martin running P3 and P4. We'll switch back to the television mode. Gasly looks like he's doing enough. Fernando Alonso the same. Both of them just trying to get to the line now. Fernando Alonso's got the battery to use. Max Verstappen wins the first race of the season. It's been total domination from the Dutchman here in Bahrain. Got pole position and has won the Grand Prix as well. Maximum points for Max Verstappen, but second and fourth for Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso. What a race! What a race, guys! Fantastic work! Fantastic work! Everybody back in the back at base as well for developing this car. What a day we've had, and Fernando Alonso sums it up. Yes, it's our day today. Aston Martin, the new era of F1 here in 2024, starts with an Aston Martin second and fourth place and a Max Verstappen win. Lewis Hamilton gets a point for the Audi as well, but we'll run now down to the full classifications and hopefully a nice little podium celebration as well. Let's just have a look at these scenes here.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. This podium is a brilliant reward for everyone's hard work over the weekend. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here.
I think we've got to say Valtteri Bottas as well, getting a podium on his return to Mercedes is quite the story. But there we are then, the full classification. Max Verstappen wins from Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas third, Fernando Alonso fourth, then Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Russell, Guan Yu Zhou in the AlphaTauri, getting a couple of decent points for AlphaTauri, and Lewis Hamilton in the Audi. Driver standings, as you can probably guess, Max Verstappen does get the win and leads the driver's standings. Pierre Gasly second, and as was the race result. But constructors-wise, Red Bull are on 35 points, but Aston Martin are in P2 on 30 points. What a start to the season, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed that as we start our new Vantage era here at Aston Martin. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next race in Jeddah. Ta-ra!